Hey guys, CriticasterQ here, back with another NGS update video, this time detailing the second anniversary event and everything to do with April 19th update. There's actually quite a bit going on with this, as you can see here with this first panel or image, talking about all the events and campaigns going through the next 2 months involving this second anniversary. We're just going to go through the details one at a time here. So just like per usual with a seasonal event, there'll be an event navigator and just like decoration changes to the different areas. But this time there's also a special Dolls Rappy, which is from that contest a while back. So it'll be fun to finally have a reason to kill those. But there's the exchange shop that you got to earn the seasonal points for to exchange for a number of different items. So taking a look inside once we get that open. There's a whole bunch of cosmetics at the top here, along with a new special scratch ticket, which has a whole bunch of different items in itself. But continuing on here, there is a new weapon series, the Ravita weapons. So this is very similar to the Prim Libra from a while back through a certain campaign. This time, though, just like a dark element and a little bit higher in terms of attack. But in here, the Soothing unit, pretty much the exact same thing. Potency, but also recover HP over time every 10 seconds. And then also it comes with that usual seasonal augment, which is really good against the seasonal enemies, giving you a whole bunch of potency, crit rate, and damage resistance against them. But going into the rest of the items here, there's a ton of different like materials and other like budget armors here. Also Aegis Integra, so useful for getting more of those Astrian weapons, or like that Gunblade for Slayer if you haven't gotten that yet, or just exchanging for the different Dominas inside. There's also these new capsules for the new Duel Quests. So these can only be used for the Duel Phase 1 quests, but they give you big increases in terms of your damage and other benefits. So this one, for instance, gives you 7% potency and offensive PP recovery plus 30%. And there's 3 in this shop here, but there's actually like 5 in total. I'll probably go into more detail about these and the Duel Quest itself in like a different video once I get more kind of like hands-on with it. But also in the shop, there's more augments like Might, Precision, Technique, Mastery in here, so you can get 10 of those. Gigas Capsules, and a whole bunch more down here. And now let's talk about this second anniversary special scratch. So you can get some tickets here, but the main ways to farm them later on is going to be the urgent quest this week, the new limited one, Rappy Rumble, or limited time quests in the later weeks. But in here, there's a whole bunch of different items. Some of them are older ones from previous seasonal events, so if you missed out on those, you can obtain them. There's also some new items in the mix. So like Dim Almaty, Judas Almaty, and Jian Tayo you can get for pretty much like all weapons is what they're usable for. And there's also in the various like outfits, music discs from the past, new emotes, suspended, and a whole bunch of accessories, Magform Willow, Flower Bell, but also a whole bunch of new stamps, so like key visuals or illustrations from previous promotional content you can obtain, and just like some more on the bottom here, like the per usual SG. Speaking of that urgent quest, though, the new Rappy Rumble, this is a limited time urgent quest where you need to kill 300 enemies, and then at the end, you kill a Resplendent AMS boss. And in here, there's going to be a whole bunch of Blasticine and Sky Chargers to use to help you kill them, and just try to clear it as fast as you can. But for the rewards of this quest, there's a number of different things. So in here, for your first clear bonus, you can get 10 of those special scratch tickets, but you can also get the Ravita series in here. I believe those Defi capsules, Aegis Integra can drop, and new Photon Chunk 2As and Photon Chunk 2Bs. So for those, that actually helps unlock the new potential level 6 on any of the weapon series that we currently have. For potential 6, it's going to vary on usefulness from the different weapon series. So like Tenebris here gets like a 4% increase to potency, Khazar gets 13%, and then Astrian gets 4% as well. It kind of depends on how far behind a weapon is. So like the lower the rarity, it's usually like a bigger jump, and sometimes even an increase to its sub-effects. But for 8-star weapons, you'll need 60 of each of these chunks, and then for 7-star and below, you'll need 30 of each. But back to the Resplendent AMS from that urgent quest, you can get AMS themed accessory drops, so like the helmet, shoulders, and tail, but this Resplendent AMs can also spawn in trials around Helfa in like the different combat zones and sometimes in the exploration zones. So if you really want to get these accessories, you can pretty much just farm it anywhere that you want. One last thing with this urgent quest though, for the entirety of this week, this will be the only one spawning in the Alea region, so no like Nex, no Pedis, and no Dark Falls. Just this UQ spawning naturally up until the next maintenance. But also with this seasonal event, there is a limited time tasks added each week, which give you a ton of seasonal points. There's also one from like a previous campaign that got added this week that is Victoire Airy, I think is the weapon camo's name. But to get that one, you need to clear the Ordinal Tower rank 7 as a Slayer. It's actually a pretty cool camo. It kind of looks like a Concert Master, maybe like in a different color or just completely different. But there's also a daily limited time task, which is killing Resplendent AMs, which gives you 5 star gems. Just got to kill them the one time and you get that. But there's also a couple of titles with this seasonal event that you can do. So if you go to the limited time section, there's getting seasonal points to be able to get the Ravita Almaty and some star gems. And there's also mischief symbols are dotted around the world map, and you have to get 8 of those to get a title as well. Arcs records for different field races going on, where you can get some Arcs record badges to spend in that record badge shop. But more importantly, there is the Duel Quests. So these are high difficulty quests that you have to do solo. So you have to face one of these bosses, so the main ones from each region. And you got a limited time, and they are higher difficulty or harder versions of the original bosses. So you may have some difficulty trying to beat these with normal means, but as I mentioned with those Deafy capsules before, they could help you out a lot if you are struggling. For the rewards of this quest, you can get titles done for different cosmetics, but more importantly, you can get a Formido Fusia Augment capsule, which you can use to craft new augments. So these are the ones at the top here. So Gigas Maste, trippable 2s, and a whole bunch of trippable variants with different prefixes or sub bonuses. So these are really good, 3.5% potency here on the Gigas one, and 20 HP. So that's one of the higher potency capsules in the game right now. And then also the trippable 2 is just 3% potency flat, so better than like Stereodomino with that like negative attached to it. And then there's these other ones here, like the Deft trippable, which gives you 2.5% potency, but also 2.5% potency floor. So like a better version of Alt Secreta 4, or you can actually have both on at the same time. But for these, you can't have like a dualable at the same time or another trippable of the same type. You can only have one as they are in the same kind of category. Moving on to the next thing though, there is a new AC Scratch, Armor of Darkness, which has a dark theme, which has a whole bunch of type 1 and type 2 outfits that you may like, as well as a whole bunch of different emotes and motion changes, all the usual kind of things that you can check out in game. Now for a few final things, we have the campaigns going on for the 2nd anniversary. So there's a Let's Make Online Arcs ID campaign where you use like this little template that they have set up, and you post it on like Twitter and use the hashtag NGS_2nd to be able to get a chance at some star gems. But then also there's those limited time tasks that I showed earlier that will be repeating throughout the weeks. Everything else is pretty much later in the months. One thing to keep an eye on though is this boost part 1 next week, where it gives you a augmentation success rate plus 10%. So you may want to hold off on like upgrading until then if you want to like use a little bit less capsules or have a better chance of a fixing. But also later this week, as usual, on the 21st of every month is Premium User PSO2 Day. So if you have Premium in the game at that time, you get these benefits right here, as well as a login bonus of some star gems and special scratch tickets. And for the final thing, at the end of the week here, we have the next NGS headline on the 25th of April, and that's going to detail out some stuff about May, but more importantly, we're actually going to get information finally on the Ultra Evolution update coming in June, all with videos, they say, so more than just the creative spaces and actually getting into the meat of it. But that is everything that I have for this week. I don't think I missed anything. Hopefully, I will go into more in depth about the Duel Quests in the next video, and hopefully I'll see you there. But thank you guys for watching. Peace.